You tell yourself you want freedom, but look closely. Do you really want freedom or do you want comfort? You wake up, reach for your phone, and the world rushes in to pamper you, updates, recommendations, entertainment on demand. You call it convenience. Your nervous system calls it sedation. And the question that gnaws at the edges of your awareness is simple. What if the pursuit of comfort is keeping you from becoming your best self? Ask yourself, what is the highest purpose of your life? To be comfortable or to grow? You felt it, that quiet ache when days blur together, when your energy dulls, when your mind becomes soft. Part of you knows that growth requires friction, heat, and pressure, but the culture around you sells anesthesia instead of strength. There's a reason your soul perks up when you hear, if you are not growing, you are dying. Something inside recognizes a law deeper than fashion, politics, or platforms. You flourish through controlled stress. You mature through tension. You come alive when you stop outsourcing your discomfort. Every meaningful transformation you've ever had started with a moment you did not want and chose anyway. So here's the line in the sand. Either you let comfort run your life, or you reclaim agency and choose the kind of discomfort that forges you. Today you decide what kind of human you are becoming. Look at your environment. Almost every modern innovation is designed to remove friction. Fewer steps, faster delivery, fewer decisions, less waiting. You tap a screen and dopamine arrives. Food appears. Opinions validate you. The machine learns you, packages you, sells you back to yourself. But if comfort is the cure, why is anxiety higher, attention shorter, and resilience thinner? You grew up told that more convenience equals more happiness. What you actually got was more options, less meaning, and a nervous system trained to expect relief now. When relief delays, you call it stress. When relief is instant, you call it normal. And slowly, imperceptibly, your baseline rises. You need more stimulus to feel okay. You need more endorsements to feel seen. You need more hedonic just one mores to feel the same. Comfort isn't neutral. It reprograms expectations. It lowers your tolerance for effort. It reframes ordinary challenges as intolerable burdens. You become irritable at minor inconvenience, impatient with process, allergic to boredom. Then life, real life, feels like a glitchy app that won't load fast enough. Here's the quiet cost. A society that fetishizes ease breeds fragility. When the grid hiccups, when supply chains falter, when a relationship requires repair instead of replacement, people raised on effortless consumption look for a manager, a platform, or a pill to fix what persistence and character used to handle. That's not progress. That's domestication. Your brain learns by repetition and reward. When rewards are abundant and effortless, your brain optimizes for the shortest path to relief, not the deepest path to fulfillment. That's how just 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. That's how one scroll becomes a trance. The loop is simple. Cue, craving, click, relief, repeat. Over time, the loop thickens. Your appetite grows while your satisfaction shrinks. You used to need a full story to feel moved. Now a 5-second clip will do. You used to create, now you consume. You used to train, now you compare. You used to endure, now you escape. None of this makes you evil. It makes you human in an environment engineered to hijack you. But that's exactly why you must take ownership. The environment will not voluntarily stop seducing you. Understand the paradox of pleasure. The more you chase it directly, the less of it you feel. Lasting satisfaction requires effort before reward, a predictable, beneficial cycle where your brain links meaning to work, not just to the prize. When effort disappears, so does meaning. Comfort without contribution calcifies the spirit. You weren't built for permanent ease. You were built for calibrated challenge, for lifting weights, literal and symbolic, so that your biology, psychology, and spirit stay aligned and alive. Consider how nature grows strength. Muscles grow by micro tears and repair. Bones densify under load. Calluses form where friction repeats. Skills sharpen through deliberate practice. Courage expands only when fear is present. Wisdom emerges through failure integrated, not failure avoided. Everywhere you look, the pattern is the same. Stressors, applied with intelligence and recovery, forge capability. You already know this. Think of the moments that shaped you. They weren't bubble-wrapped with convenience. They carried uncertainty, risk, responsibility, consequences. You were upgraded by the struggle. That is not cruelty. That is design. You don't become trustworthy by being coddled. You become trustworthy by proving to yourself, under pressure, that you will do what is right and necessary even when it is not easy. There's a deeper spiritual current flowing here too. If growth is woven into the fabric of creation, then removing all hardship isn't compassion, it's sabotage. Shielding yourself from every discomfort arrests development. Facing discomfort with intention and humility matures you. You become someone who can be relied upon by your family, your community, and your future self. So ask the bracing question, where in your life are you insulating yourself from the very adversity that would elevate you? Where are you numbing instead of noticing? Where are you outsourcing instead of owning? Where are you drifting when you should be drilling? Dependency is not just chemical, it's cultural. When your first reflex is to ask a platform to soothe you, a corporation to feed you, or a bureaucracy to save you, you outsource sovereignty. You flatten your agency, reduce your radius of responsibility, and rehearse helplessness. Over time, your threshold for personal initiative erodes. You use the right words, safety, equity, convenience, but the result is the same. You become less capable of governing yourself. This has consequences that ripple beyond your private life. A population trained to seek instant relief is easier to herd, market to, and manipulate. People who cannot tolerate discomfort will trade freedom for anesthesia every time. If you cannot say no to yourself, you will not say no to authority. And if you cannot hold a boundary with your own impulses, how will you hold a boundary with systems that benefit from your compliance? This isn't a partisan point, it's a principle. Whatever the banner, whatever the brand, any structure that conditions you to avoid effort and accept sedation is not serving your highest good. Your antidote is not rage, it's responsibility. Not performative rebellion, disciplined self-governance. You rebuild your will like a muscle by using it. Here's your turning point. Discomfort will visit you either way. Either you choose it voluntarily, intelligently, or it arrives uninvited and overwhelms you. You don't need to become a monk or a marine. You need a rhythm of chosen difficulty that recalibrates your nervous system and restores pride in the person you are becoming. Start where you are. Choose one physical, one mental, and one relational discomfort to practice daily or weekly. You're not virtue signaling, you're strength training your soul. Physical discomfort. You commit to a non-negotiable bout of effort daily. It can be a hard walk done fast, a body weight circuit, a heavy lift, or hill sprints. You push past the moment your mind begs for relief. You teach it. We finish. You step into cold water, a cold shower, or a chilly dawn, not for punishment, for proof. You reinforce that your comfort threshold is adjustable. Mental discomfort. You reclaim your attention. You fast from dopamine, 1 block per day, where you leave the phone outside the room and sit with boredom on purpose. You read long form without hopping tabs. You practice stillness, 10 minutes of silent observation, letting thoughts arise and pass without numbing them. When anxiety peaks, you breathe through it instead of breaking the fast with a scroll. This is rep after rep for your focus muscle. Relational discomfort. You tell the truth kindly. You request what you need clearly. You set one boundary you've been avoiding. You initiate one uncomfortable conversation aimed at repair, not victory. You accept that love requires courage. You stop outsourcing your voice to passive-aggressive posts and say things cleanly to the person who needs to hear them. Metabolic discomfort. You practice delay. You try intermittent fasting or a simple no calories after dinner rule. You feel hunger and discover it is a sensation, not an emergency. You choose whole foods over hyperpalatable hits. You reclaim the story. Your body is not your enemy. It's your ally when you lead it. Creative discomfort. You ship. You publish the piece, record the take, post the idea, or share the work that isn't perfect. You learn in public. You let feedback refine you instead of define you. You train your identity to prefer contribution over approval. Spiritual discomfort. You examine yourself. You practice confession. Not performative guilt, but honest inventory. Where are you weak? Where are you strong? Why? Where are you avoiding the assignment you already know is yours? You seek wisdom, not just information. You ask for courage, not just comfort. You align your actions with a higher standard than convenience. What changes when you live this way? Your baseline resets. Annoyances no longer dominate your mood. You move from entitlement to gratitude. You experience a strange, solid joy, the kind that doesn't depend on likes or lightning bolts of novelty. You begin to trust yourself again. That's not hype, that's the quiet dignity of keeping promises to yourself. Your relationships improve because you stop using others as emotional vending machines. Your work improves because you stop chasing shortcuts and start compounding craft. Your body feels like home because you lead it with patience and strength. And when life throws real hardship at you, and it will, you don't collapse. You respond, you orient, you adapt, you overcome. Not because it's easy, but because you have rehearsed. There is immense power in delayed gratification. You may live in a culture that collapses at an insult, but you don't have to. You can be the adult in the room, the one who bears weight without broadcasting it, the one who chooses the narrow path because you know where it leads. Right now, before momentum fades, you take inventory. You tell the truth to yourself without drama. Where are you weak? Where are you strong? Why? Where are you numbing? Where are you avoiding? Why? What will be your one physical, one mental, and one relational discomfort this week? What rule will you keep even when nobody is watching? Write it. Decide it. Do it. Not 10 new habits. 1. You don't need inspiration. You need initiation. Start small, but start today. Stack the reps until identity clicks. I am the kind of person who chooses the hard thing that makes me stronger. You don't need permission. You need practice. You don't need a guarantee. You need grit. The soft prison opens when you stop asking it to be comfortable in there, and you walk out. Here's your stark choice. You can stay comfortable and slowly become a stranger to yourself, or you can choose calibrated discomfort and remember what you're made of. Freedom is not a feeling, it's a practice. Sovereignty is not a slogan, it's a standard. Growth is not an accident, it's a decision renewed daily. If this hit home, do the simple thing that keeps this message moving. Like this video so the algorithm doesn't bury it. Comment with the one discomfort you're choosing this week. Share it with the one person who needs to hear it today. Subscribe if you're reclaiming your mind, your will, and your future. You already know what to do. Now do it.